I'm Manuel Viloria, and welcome to Filibusterismo.com. We'll be tackling the final chapter of Jose Rizal's El Fili, chapter 39, where we find a badly wounded Simon trying to recuperate at the house of Padre Florentino. It's almost the close of day, and Padre Florentino is playing a harmonium. It's like an organ which plays creepy Dracula music. So you can imagine why that would be a pretty depressing setting, especially for Simon, who is aware that the Spanish authorities are about to arrest him. That is why at the end of that day, at sunset, he decides to share with Padre Florentino his life and the things that he has done. This chapter also gives an example of Philippine culture where people believe that sick people should have closed windows, ang pagpinid ng mga bintana. We can guess that perhaps Simon is badly wounded because the bandits may have felt betrayed by Simon, since this would have been the second time that the revolution did not push through. It is also in this condition that Simon decides to commit suicide, since he's going to die anyway or be arrested. So rather than be arrested alive, he would rather take his own life. This chapter also shows the Filipino hospitality in the case of Padre Florentino, who decides to help Simon. Padre Florentino decides to cover his face with a handkerchief so that he can treat Simon's confession as a typical Catholic confession, meaning the authorities will not be able to extract from Padre Florentino whatever it is that Simon shares with him, because it's protected by the seal of confession. Incidentally, that's a photo of the Baclayan Church in Bohol. The talk between Padre Florentino and Simon focuses sometimes on disappointment. There were 3 disappointments in the life of Simon. The first was when he was too late in saving Maria Clara. She died. The second one, as mentioned by Padre Florentino, refers to his lack of care in certain events. But what those events are, we are not sure. Perhaps Jose Rizal lacked the funds to write those chapters in El Fili. And the third is the disappointment Simon experienced when somebody decided to get the lamp and throw it into the river. Again, the revolution did not push through because of that. They also talked about evil and why it seems to be a necessary part of life. And Padre Florentino, same as Balagtas in Florante at Laura, both state that it's really part of life. It's not that God really allows it, but it's just there. They also talk about revolution, and Padre Florentino believes that when it comes to revolution, no one should incite people to rise up and revolt. It should come from within. If it does not come from within, if it has to come from some other spokesperson, then that revolution will fail. When a country is ready for change, when you say ready, they would like to eradicate evil, they would like to uplift themselves, on their own, deep inside. When they are ready, then that's the only time that a revolution will succeed. In the same case that a baby is born, when that baby is ready, whether or not the mother decides to stop the birth, if a baby is ready to be born in the 40th week, no amount of drugs can prevent the baby from coming out. Also, even if you're ready, if you lack the desire for independence, according to Padre Florentino, then there will be no successful revolution. That desire should be as strong as the desire of water to come down a mountain, down the waterfalls, down the rivers. Without that desire for independence, nothing's going to happen. After all, if you're just a slave today, if you somehow attain independence through violent means, you'll just be the tyrants of tomorrow. The treasure chest represents power. It does not represent evil, because that form of power can be used for evil as well as for good. In fact, when Padre Florentino decides to throw it over the cliff and into the ocean, he says that maybe someday, if it can be used for good, God will allow it to resurface. And that's basically it for Chapter 39 of El Filibusterismo. For comments, questions, please send email to manuel@villar.com. For other updates, if you like this format, please visit elfilibusterismo.com. Thank you.